Thank you guys for coming back to another live broadcast of Cobra TV. And tonight we're going to be doing No Man's Sky subcast. So if you want to get on the show, message me on Skype. On this episode, it's going to be whatever you guys want to talk about as far as No Man's Sky. But one of the things that I would like to talk about on today's show is the things that we don't know about No Man's Sky. So, and what I mean by that, I'm talking about like the things that are in No Man's Sky that we've seen that just don't make any sense. And as you know of the PSX video that was released with Yoshida, that they said they held back certain things and they didn't want any spoilers in the video, but yet it's the same stuff that we've always seen in every single No Man's Sky trailer or gameplay footage or anything. So tonight, I have not speculated in a very long time about certain things, and it's because it was getting a little bit poisonous doing speculation. It's causing false hype, but this is not going to be the same kind of speculation. This is going to be, okay, well, this doesn't make sense. You know, pretty much pointing things out. So some of the things that I want to get to. And if you guys think of some, please come on the show and tell me what you think. Okay, so one of the things that that we see in the trailers that doesn't make any sense, the first thing that comes to my mind is the drone that's scanning one of the animals. If the drones are there to protect the environment and protect, bring, you know, balance to the, keep a safe balance to the universe, stop us from tearing stuff up and murdering everything. I wonder why one of the drones is sitting there scanning one of the animals. That's one of the things that obviously Hello Games has not let us know. It's one of the things that they've left out. And, you know, as Sean Murray has said in the past, he doesn't want to put anything in the game that does not have a good gameplay element to it. So he mentioned having black holes in the game because they got a good gameplay element to it. So the drone scanning animals is a big, big mystery. And those are the kind of things that I want to try and focus on, is some of the stuff that we've seen in the trailer that we've never really brought out in the open. Hey, that doesn't make any sense. What's going on here? The other thing that I mentioned on the last podcast is the portals. The portals, you know, you got to think, you know, designing the portals, you know, making them work. You know, I'm not a developer, so I'm not using the right words, but developing the portals, writing the code for them to take you to a random planet, and it's at the center of the galaxy, closer to the center of the galaxy. And the reasons for that being are to get a taste of what's ahead and to get resources and take them back. I can't imagine that much work put into the portals for that, you know, for just those two reasons alone. You know, especially when you need a certain weapons combination, and you've seen the one portal, and it's got like all these tiny little portals around it. So maybe those tiny little things are not portals. Maybe that's the puzzle that you need to figure out to go through the major one in the middle. But one of the speculations that, you know, I've had, and I mentioned on my last podcast, is that maybe the portals are like small lobbies to where, you know, you go through the portal, and that's your chance to really meet another player and see one. Maybe he's on another planet and he goes through the portal and they both lead to the same planet, and that's when you're going to get a chance to see what you look like. A lot of people are, you know, think that our characters are procedurally generated, but I don't think so. We all look alike, and Sean Murray wouldn't have said that when you see other players, when you're going to know what you look like. And he did say that there is a player customization kind of, and I think that's just the upgrade choices that you make when you're upgrading your suit. But other than that, the portals, yeah, that's another one that the only two reasons we have is to get a taste of what's ahead and get resources and come back. We do know that you can't stay in the portal and get a new ship because you can't get back out into space to buy another ship from the space station. The next one is a big one. It's a big one on me, and I think it's a wording issue, an understanding of a wording phrase. NPCs. Now, when Sean Murray was asked if there's NPCs in the game, he said no. I don't think it would be it's the right game for, you to walk up to a shop and someone say, "What are you buying? What are you selling?" So that was his definition of NPCs when he was asked. But if you think about it, the Sentinels that are in No Man's Sky, the drones, those are NPCs. They're non-playable characters. They're NPCs. You come across them, you fight them. So are the alien animals. And as we know that they're holding stuff back, they're showing videos that they're cutting out all of the spoilers. And No Man's Sky is, it's meant for you to feel like you're alone in this universe. And I think that is only reflected on multiplayer, on other players. Because if we were meant to feel alone, truly alone, there wouldn't be spaceships flying around everywhere. And Sean Murray did say that there's going to be places where you're going to be alone. There's no spaceships, there's no Sentinels, there's none of that stuff. But I got to ask myself, and I'm asking myself right now, who the heck's flying the ships? All this work into No Man's Sky, and you don't think Hello Games put anything in the cockpits? I mean, I know we didn't see any during one of the trailers, but they could just turn it off. And how hard would it be to put aliens in these spaceships? They've already done it with the animals, procedurally generated aliens, two-legged aliens. Now, when we're talking about two-legged procedurally generated aliens, there was a short clip from the PSX that had two very quick instances where you got to see a bipedal creature. It was running towards the player while the player was shooting. Now, we know in No Man's Sky that you can shoot the ground to get aggressive animals to go away from you instead of shooting it and getting the attention of the Sentinels. Sean Murray said that. But we have this animal, this two-legged animal, that it really looks like they tried not to show it too much while were running towards the player while the player was shooting. Now, that goes against being able to shoot the ground and getting aggressive alien animals to run away from you. We know there's no NPCs in the game, according to Sean Murray. I just, something's got to be flying these ships. And I think that's something that they definitely have turned off, and they don't want you to know right now. And to talk about the aliens and the ships, you wouldn't have to be able to speak to them, because one of the things that ruins Skyrim for me is the repetitive responses from the AI that are in the game. The NPCs that are in the game, it got really daunting. So the aliens, if there are, and if there will be aliens flying the ships, we wouldn't have to be able to talk to them because they could speak another language, and it could be just a noise, a procedurally generated noise, just like the animals have, and we just don't understand it. We don't need to talk to them. I think, you're out there, you're traveling around from one solar system to the next, and you're going to other galaxies, and it's a whole universe. You're not going to know how to speak to there's not going to be one language. So we don't have to be able to interact with them. But it could be something that, you could shoot at, and you could, aggro it to shoot back. Now that I've said, just a couple things that don't make sense to me in the trailers. I can't imagine that there's nothing in the ships, but maybe it's their direction. Maybe there isn't anything in the ships, and maybe they're all robotic. Who knows? But I'm going to take a couple callers here and see what some of you might think. So if you want to get on the show, just go ahead and message me on Skype. And there's a lot of things. I had so many other things in my mind that I wanted to talk about as far as things that don't make sense, the things they're holding back, but the little clues that we got to see in the trailer. Plural. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for coming on Cobra TV.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing perfect, dude. Perfect. So, have you been listening to the Twitch?
Yeah, I just got on, and I've been watching your videos for quite some time, and I just wanted to give you what I think could be in the game, or just some stupid theories or ideas.
Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, he hasn't really said much about how we're going to be able to communicate within the game.
Right.
What I was kind of thinking is, like in H1Z1, the closer you are to a person, the more able you'll be able to hear somebody. Like the closer you are to somebody, the louder they'll be.
Right. Yeah.
But he hasn't really said anything about that. He hasn't said anything in particular about communication.
Well, he said there wasn't going to be a way to communicate with each other. Like, there's not going to be any in-game chat. But then he did an interview with Game Informer, and he teased Game Informer with the possibility of an in-game chat system, but he didn't elaborate, and he just kind of, the conversation just went dead end. So we still don't know really where he's going with that. So, they've made a lot of changes. You used to be able to call your ship to your location, like autopilot, and just have it come land right where you are instead of having to travel all the way back to your ship. But he said that was stupid. When he saw people play, they would move 5 feet, call their ship, move 5 feet, call their ship. So they decided to take it out. So they, who knows what they're taking out and adding in at this point. They're being so quiet.
Yeah, I think their main objective is to keep people guessing. I mean, with games today, they're trying to get as much money as they can from the consumers, trying to get them with small DLC packs or pre-orders or special things with the pre-orders. And I think their goal was to keep it all surprise. They just want to have they want to have the best experience the first time someone's playing as possible.
Right. Yeah. And it's weird how, GameStop they're still not doing pre-orders for No Man's Sky. And usually when a game's got a month and a year set for a release date, GameStop's always all over that pre-order. Always. Even if
I've gone into GameStop multiple times asking them if they have pre-orders yet, and they said no. I mean, I've gone in 3 or 4 times and they just keep saying no idea. So
yeah. Half the time you go in there, they don't even know what you're talking about when it's hey, you doing pre-orders for No Man's Sky? Then they go, well, what system is that for? Then they have to look it up. And I had this one lady, she was like, are you sure you're saying it right? I'm like, yeah, I'm saying it right. It's just like, facepalm.
And something that I noticed about the game is that, I spent about an hour and a half in class one day talking to 2 friends about the game, and they just kept asking questions about it. And with me, I've gone as in depth as I could. I've done a ton of research about the game.
Yeah.
And they just keep asking more questions. I've been trying to answer them the best I could, but they have questions for me that I didn't even think of, and they were talking about blowing stuff up or choosing friendships, or like the big thing though was trying to get to your friends, and that was a thing I kind of had some trouble talking about because it wasn't very clear yet.
That's one of the things that I'm most excited for, because it's gonna be so hard. I used to want No Man's Sky to be like a co-op game where I could say, hey, come on, let's go explore this planet together. But the fact that you can see your friend's location on the map, and Sean Murray did say, yes, you could go to their location, but it would take a very long time. But it wouldn't if you guys were both heading towards the center of the galaxy at the same time. You're only 40 to 100 hours away from each other. Mm-hmm. So once you got close, you could pick a star system and then decide to meet at that star system and meet at the space station that's there. But there's still no real gameplay mechanic to help keep you guys together. And we do know that there's a proximity bubble, kind of like a lobby. So if your friend goes out of that bubble, they just completely disappear. Sean Murray said that it's kind of like watching the show Lost, where Jack kept seeing his dad, and then his dad would disappear and then reappear. Kind of like that.
Yeah, I was talking to them about the game, and they said that they would play it, but it would just be so time consuming to them, and it seemed like they wouldn't have that kind of patience. I can see where Hello Games is going with this. They have it targeted for a set audience, but even then, that set audience can have a variety of players.
Right.
You can have, you can be a trader, or you can be a fighter or an explorer. You can be whatever you want, pretty much. But people haven't gotten past the fact that they only see it as exploration and planet. They haven't gone in depth as to where you can become part of, all these different factions, and you can upload discoveries, or you can, do anything you want, really.
Yeah. The game
they haven't seen past that.
Right. Yeah. The game's got many different paths that you could decide to play in that path and that path alone. You don't even need to go to the center of the galaxy. You don't have to. You can just say, nah, that's not what I'm doing, and you could just play it as a faction war person, or like you said, a pirate or a trader only. And those gameplays, you're going to have your own stories about, when you were stuck on that planet and two pirates had you cornered, they destroyed your ship and you had to get a life pod, and this and that. You're going to have all these stories that they're unique to you and your gameplay. And I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The game, I'm sure as time progresses, they're going to have more trailers and more teasers towards the game closer to launch date. Because right now, I'm going around my school telling everyone about the game. And they're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Like the fan base is significantly large, but on a wide scale of things, it's
small.
Relatively small. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Like, I ask people every day if I think they're a gamer, I'm like, hey, you gamer? And they still don't know what No Man's Sky is when I ask them about No Man's Sky. Like, have you heard of No Man's Sky? 9 times out of 10, they say no. Like, how can that be? This game's all over YouTube. It won Best of E3, stole the show, and people are still, I don't know. They just, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. And when I heard someone else explain the game to the friends I was talking to, and their explanation was completely different from mine, and that's
cool.
Yeah, I found that kind of unique. You can have, I could tell something about the game to them, and then someone else can tell the same thing, but it could mean completely differently to everyone else that hears it.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point, dude. I like that.
And the diversity of the players that will be playing this game is going to be massive, because you could potentially meet somebody on a planet. It could be 3 a.m. and you are shocked to death, but then they just go ahead and kill you.
Yeah.
Rather than someone trying to meet up with you, or if you do see them, then you can try to communicate with them, like put them into a party or message them or whatever.
Right. See, and that's a little bit of a gray area too. Sean Murray confirmed that you cannot shoot another player or trade with another player. But at the same time, during the 70 Questions interview, he said you can grief a player a little bit. Now, I don't know if that's maybe you can shoot their ship, or if maybe, like I said in the past, you can blow a hole in the ground and make the other player fall into it and park your ship on top of it. Just tease them a little bit. But I don't know. It's, you can grief a player a little bit, but you can't kill.
Yeah, I think they're trying to make this they're not trying to make it a troll game for people that want to troll.
Oh yeah, no, this is
kind of kill the experience for all the players that are trying to be hardcore and enjoy it as much as possible.
Yeah, no, this is an anti-troll game, 100%. Like, even if it was possible, which it's not, but even if you were able to get a 300 clan party and just fly through the galaxy searching for people to kill and troll, even 300 people together, they're not going to run into anybody, so it's like it's that big. It's anti-troll,
and that's the beauty of it. It's just so big that the chances of finding somebody, let alone a troll, it's very, very rare.
Yeah, exactly. But you imagine though, that first time that you come across another player, if you're lucky enough,
I'll be waiting for that day.
Yeah, the emotions, like, oh my gosh, it's somebody else. It's like you've been stranded on an island, alone, and finally you see somebody, but then all these thoughts come rushing through your head. Can they kill me? That wasn't really confirmed. Is he gonna try? Should I trust him? You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna know any of these things because there's no tutorials, and we're just gonna have to be a learning experience if we're lucky to find somebody.
I think everyone's first experience seeing another player will be something that they won't forget about that game. 'Cause it could be, the middle of the night and you're about to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden you see somebody walk across your screen. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell just happened?
Right. Yeah, that's going to be cool, man. And, you're not going to have gamer tags, so it's going to be kind of hard to see, to be able to tell who's another player and who's, just the AI flying around. But, like in GTA, you see somebody driving, even if they've been playing GTA for years, they still drive a heck of a lot different than the AI. They're erratic. They drive a little bit faster, or they make turns here or there that the AI might not. So you're going to be able to tell, I believe.
Yeah, I told my friends about the AI in space. I said that you can't tell if someone is in space is AI or a person. And I said that, it's very rare to see somebody. I told them the fact about a million people on the same planet, how unlikely it is to see somebody even then.
Right.
They couldn't believe it.
Yeah, even to this day, I still can't believe it. Like planet-sized planets, a million people on one planet, and it'll be hard to run into each other if you spread them out equally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But about the storage of the game, that's something that has pondered my mind for quite some time. They said that it's all generated when you get to that specific area. And since there are no loading times, there are no set whatever, I mean, I'm wondering if it'll be rather small in gigabyte storage.
And storage, I'm not sure, but the actual download of the game, he said it's not going to be big at all. The only thing that's going to make it, I think, what did he say? 5 gigs? 15? I don't know. It's a really low number. And he said the only thing that's really increasing that number to that much is because the Sentinels are not procedurally generated. So they're an actual asset to the game. And they're going to look the same everywhere in the galaxy or universe. But yeah, so there's certain things that are not going to be procedurally generated that are taking up space.
Okay. Even talking to you, I'm learning a whole bunch of new stuff. I mean, I try to look in depth as much as possible, but you have gone beyond me.
Yeah, I've been doing it for over a year, maybe more than that. I've deleted a lot of my first videos because they were horrible. I haven't deleted enough of them, but I'll get to that.
When I first saw the game at E3 2015 last year, I had to kind of sit back in my seat a little bit because I've always wanted a game that is about space exploration. I'm a big fan of space. I think it's wonderful. That's for a different day, but I've always wanted a game that's about space exploration, and it's a video game, and I love video games. All of us watching this right now love video games.
Right.
And I sent them an email, No Man's Sky, Hello Games. I sent them an email about how happy it made me for the game that will be coming out soon. I didn't get a reply, but it's having me very hyped for summer for sure.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait, dude. Even if it's, and I keep telling everybody, as long as I could just fly around wherever I want, walk around wherever I want, shoot whatever I want, I'm gonna be happy. Because those are the things that I do in GTA. Those are the things I do in Just Cause. And that's the funnest things to do is just goof around. But then you add on to all the confirmed features that Hello Games have said. And it just blows my mind.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there's going to be somebody that just looks at the galactic map for hours on end, just keep going and going, trying to see how far they can go.
Right.
Then clicking on a on a certain system and seeing how far away it is from them.
Yeah.
And the things you can do is unlimited. I mean, people can't fathom that in their minds, but it is unlimited.
Right.
And
Yeah. It's like a backdrop for your own story. It's a stage, that you get all the toys to play in and create your own story. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, and all the Let's Plays are going to be very, very different.
Yeah, extremely different.
Like in Fallout, I mean, they're all diverse in their own way, but there is a main story to it. In this, there isn't a main story.
Right.
Besides getting to the center of the galaxy. So
Yeah.
everyone's Let's Play is going to be different because they're going to be in different places. They're going to have different play styles.
Right.
And the things that they'll do when they see those things will be very different.
Exactly. Yeah, and I can't wait to see everybody's videos. It's going to be cool. I think this game's going to have a really long shelf life when it comes to YouTube, just like Minecraft.
Definitely.
Minecraft
Definitely.
Was very successful, and it's still successful to this very day because you can pretty much do whatever you want. So It's going to be a great game. Long life.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much for coming on the show, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and take another caller here real quick.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Okay, buddy. Have a good night.
You too.
Good caller. Like the guy. All right, so we're going to take Kenneth. Kenneth, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for coming on Cobra TV.
Thanks. Oh, man. That was a good Skype call that you had right there.
Thank you. Yeah, he was a good guy. Good conversation. So what brings you on, man?
There was I think an article on PlayStation where he brought up the food chain.
Right. Yeah, I remember that one.
So I was wondering on the New Yorker, he showed the Colbert Prime, and I didn't see like any sort of like instance where there was the food chain. So is it that he was taking it out of, so like that feature wasn't shown?
Well, when he's talking about the food chain, I think he's referring to, well, he said in a 70 Questions interview that animals can eat each other, but also the alien animals they're after to kill you too. So they're after to eat you as well. And I think that's just a terminology when he's saying that you're going to find out quickly that you're not at the top of that food chain. So I think it's just his way of saying it's going to be more dangerous than people realize.
All right, so I guess let's just go basic. I think for me, my play style would be to explore, because this is something that I did in Minecraft because with all the hype about it,
right.
I was like, how about I should start exploring. So No Man's Sky is like a way bigger scale, and I found that really interesting when I first saw this in the PSX award. No, not the PSX award, the Video Games Award. And ever since, I was like, man, I should start exploring.
Yeah, and I've been looking for games to kind of like hold me over to, waiting for No Man's Sky. Games that are kind of like exploring.
I don't know how to put it to words, but it's like the lore behind it.
Yeah.
Like with Hoth and on Endor, like finding the lore of No Man's Sky in those planets is really something that captured me. Because in the trailers you see the portals and the little monoliths.
Yeah.
And for me, No Man's Sky, like, it captures that pretty well, I think.
Yeah, sure does. Yeah, the lore is going to be pretty exciting to kind of piece together and see how they're going to tell the story in No Man's Sky.
I'm just putting a lot of trust on Sean, so just hopefully it'll all play out.
That everything will play out. It'll be a fun game. Like I said, if you can only do the things that we see in the trailers and that's it, it's going to be a great game.
Definitely.
All right, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and take another caller here real quick. You got any last and final words?
No, I just wanted to say, just keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy every minute of what you do, so thanks for having me.
Okay, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Good night, bro. All right. Good guy. So we're going to add Seakite to the call. Seakite's going to come on.
Hey!
See, guy, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Thank you for coming on Cobra TV.
Oh my god, dude, it has been a very freaking long time. Do you remember like the messages we had before about me asking to be on?
Oh yeah, definitely, dude.
Oh my gosh. So I'm on break right now. I'm on my phone, so I can't do the Twitch at the same time. So yeah. I just want to say a few things about first I have to ask you a question. Where did you hear about the PvP in No Man's Sky and how we can't shoot down our
It was
other
an article
members?
that was released right around E3 2015. I cannot remember what article it was in, but Sean Murray did say that you can't trade or kill another player.
What about ship damage? Because
Not mentioned.
I was talking with a friend earlier, and he was telling me about how it would be awkward if you're out in space shooting at somebody and okay, better yet, let's say faction wars. When two friends are in a faction war and maybe they're on opposing sides, wouldn't it kind of destroy the whole purpose of fighting when you've got two OP people that you can't if he's attacking your side, you really can't stop him?
Well, here's the thing. The game's not really designed for you to be able to run into anybody that easily. So
Yeah.
you're never going to be, I guarantee you're never going to be in a situation where you have a faction and your friend or somebody else is a part of another faction who's the faction you're against. That situation, I do not believe will ever happen in No Man's Sky.
And again, on that one, technically it is more possible than what other people are saying. And think of the entire galaxy, and everybody brings up Minecraft, but let's go Minecraft multiplayer servers. Every star system is kind of could potentially be a multiplayer server. If you get enough people and you gravitate towards one area, even though I know you have small circle boxes, but say you take up a portion of the galaxy, which we were planning to do. I'm the leader of the Galactic Patrol Federation, one of the highest guilds on your site,
Right.
ExploreNMS.
Yeah.
And we're planning on creating a GPF space. Have you heard of the game called Vendetta Online?
Yeah.
In Vendetta, you have 3 factions, and they all have their own territory. So what we're planning on doing is creating our own territory that kind of acts like a hub world within No Man's Sky. So meeting people would be easier.
Well, that sounds kind of cool. And, although we don't know if it's possible, but it does sound cool. And what I really love about No Man's Sky, no matter how much hate you get for what you say you want to do, the cool thing about No Man's Sky is that you can attempt it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That this game could be played the way that you want it to be played. And if you want to try to do that, then good, dude. Good for you. Try it. I would love to see your YouTube videos, and I would love to see you try to do that, because No Man's Sky is based on freedom. And man,
basically sandbox, even though they don't really want to say sandbox, but it is a living universe.
Yeah.
And
right.
Sean Murray himself wants to do what the players want. I'm not saying do the deathmatch thing that people have, talked about, let's give No Man's Sky mini games, because that defeats the purpose of having a procedurally generated universe. But to add features that you can do and interact with the universe, whether it be PvP or trading with other players, I'm sure Sean Murray would probably not have an issue with implementing that. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk to you about multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer seems to be a very touchy subject for the No Man's Sky fan base. And the fact that you can meet people, you can see their location on the galactic map, tells everybody that it's possible to meet up with another player. And what you're saying to me is you think that with people adding their few-person bubble to each other, that you're creating a big lobby? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that basically let's take what we're gonna try to do is take a 40 star system radius, and then kind of spread people throughout that. We're going to
Oh,
have a main planet. I've chosen the name Daedalus for the main planet, and we were told that we could plant some kind of flag. So I'm guessing we can mark a territory, kind of like a city. So I'm planning on having the capital of Daedalus, which will be the home planet to the Galactic Patrol Federation, or GPF, called Icarus. It's based off the mythological Greek legend, where I guess it was Icarus and Daedalus were slaves, and they flew to the sun. Kind of weird, but I do like those names a lot. But if we
Yeah, I
have
do
a
too.
40 star system radius, then and we have players living amongst those stars, that they can meet up within the 40 star radius, and we should all have hyperdrives that are capable of basically like going over to your friend's house.
That's pretty cool, man. And it's really cool. I cannot wait to see you upload your video. You're gonna upload on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah, I've already got a channel. I'm dealing with personal matters at the moment, but I got 62 videos on my YouTube, so I'm not an amateur. Or actually, I am an amateur,
We're all
but
amateurs.
I'm a
All
little
of us.
bit better than like the Starks. Like my very first video recently got taken down because it had Star Wars music. It was Battlefront 2,
Oh.
and dude, I was a wreck in that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but yeah, I have improved, and really just watching other YouTubers, it helped me in the long run
That's
with
cool.
content.
Yeah. Do me a favor on ExploreNMS.com. Send me a message, a link to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, dude. I'll head on over there and subscribe because you're gonna have some interesting gameplay when
I'm
No Man's
hoping.
Sky comes out. Definitely.
Another thing that I had to talk to you about, bounty hunters. Sean Murray stated in I don't know, he's wearing a flannel shirt. He does that a lot. One of those videos, he talked about if you wanted to be a bounty hunter, you could be a bounty hunter.
Right.
How could that work other than, because like to me that sounded like PvP. That sounded like hunting down some random Joe just because he said something stupid to you on the forums. I don't know. But like, how would being a bounty hunter work in a procedurally generated universe if there was no PvP planned from the beginning?
Well, maybe some of the pirates, will fly by you, and maybe they'll have like a red marker on them, and that'll mean that if you destroy that pirate AI, that you'll get a certain reward, more units, plus whatever he's carrying. So I think that is more along the lines of what he meant by bounty hunter.
And do you think for the major factions, do you think it's possible, like, and this is just me thinking, this isn't like anything's been announced or anything, but I thought, what if it was possible to like name the faction that you support? Like you
That'd
grow
be
so
cool.
attached to a faction. Exactly.
That would be cool. Yeah.
And then one of the fears that I've had with creating this hub world is if I do that, it's possible that people that maybe, for roleplay, since the term enemies with my faction, might want to attack the space stations, which are in every star system. That would suck if you lived in a star system and you couldn't protect your own station because another player was destroying it.
Right. Yeah, it would. But, he did say you can't kill another player, but he never said anything about, destroying a ship of the other player or anything, because he did say you can grief a little bit. So we don't know what that means. The No Man's Sky, Hello Games has been very, very cryptic with their information that they give out. But I don't know, dude. I think there's a whole world of features and information that we don't even know about.
Exactly.
So we're going to have to wait when the game comes out, and that's going to be the most interesting part, finding all this stuff out little by little. And
You released you released a video. It was about it was that one game, kind of looked a little Minecrafty. You were a weird alien type creature.
Boundless.
And yes. And when you were exploring that planet, that's when I was like, I realized that I don't think, because a lot of people are complaining, saying, oh, it's procedurally generated, everything, we're going to see patterns. And I really don't think we're going to see patterns. I really don't think we're going to get used to it. Because when you were playing that small little game, even though the game had a lot of similarities with like every planet, it was kind of similar. You still managed to find things that piqued your interest.
Oh yeah, I love the game, man. I love it. And it didn't come out as well as it looked on my computer. Like it looks so much more beautiful on what I was watching when I was playing it. But yeah, just man, and you're right. The exploration, and I got a taste of that when I played a game called Zerahipt, and that game, it's not like No Man's Sky. It's not procedurally generated, but there is exploration to the game, and I came across these aliens, and I, they were like armpits, and they were walking really weird, and they had this weird sound to them, and it was really creepy. Made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and it was just like, wow, like I didn't even think life could look like that.
Yeah. Also, speaking of exploration, you had a video, or it was a live stream. I don't know what it was, but you were talking about the castle structure, if you remember. That was in one of the videos.
Yeah.
When you think ruin, like a ruin is usually like a fallen city, I would say, like an ancient city that's been, in ruins, fallen, destroyed. But how big? Because the way that Hello Games talks about it, it kind of makes it sound small, but you seeing that castle,
Yeah.
like, would you be interested in trying to find a ruin that was the size of, let's say, New York, Manhattan?
Well,
like, do you think that's possible?
Hello Games was asked how big could the ruins be, and Sean Murray said, we don't want to tell people, we want you to find out for yourself. They also said, and a long time ago, and I think it was a Eurogamer interview, that there are dungeons inside these ruins. So we've seen little tiny ones in the trailers, but if they have like these underground dungeons, and that Sean Murray really doesn't want to say, no, they're all small. Instead, he says, find out for yourself. Yeah. So that tells me that there are going to be big ones.
So are you, what would, I'd say a question for you, what are you more like, what are you most interested in trying to find out? I know you've talked about before about the starting planet you want to find like some really crazy creatures and feel like you're about to die, living the dream.
Right.
But like, what do you really want to see out there? Like, what are you searching for?
I'm searching for other people. That's what I want. I want to find as many people as I can.
Come to our hub world, man.
Oh, I will. I will. Make it towards the center of the galaxy, because that's the direction I'm going to be heading.
Yeah, I know. You want it to be towards the center of the galaxy,
Yeah.
where more players, where there's a better difficulty, because we don't want it to be easy. Again, like I was talking about, how players can easily destroy your trading stations. You don't want that. So perhaps closer to the center, they'll be more protected.
Right. Yeah.
But other galaxies, people I'm starting to think that perhaps the Atlas might be in the center of the galaxy, and the Atlas could potentially give you a warp to another galaxy, or perhaps a hyperdrive that allows you to go to another galaxy. But if galaxies work the way the original galaxy works,
right,
and we kind of get sent to a random galaxy, I honestly don't think I'd be willing to make that trip, because the idea of just going to a random galaxy where you're never going to see anybody again kind of defeats the whole multiplayer purpose. So I think that before anybody jumps the gun on going to the new galaxies, like someone who doesn't care needs to like test it and make sure that they're able to get back.
Yeah, trust me, there's going to be that one guy that's going to get there before we all realize it. You're thinking to yourself, well, I got time. I'm pretty far ahead. I guarantee it. I'm in the lead. And then all of a sudden you wake up the next morning, someone's already made it. So
is it sad that I don't really care about the center that much?
No,
like I
it doesn't,
really
because
don't.
No, it doesn't. No, it's not sad at all, because like I said, No Man's Sky is the game of freedom. You know, as Sean Murray said, he always says that's not core to the game. Can you get to your friend? Yes, but that's not core to the game. Can you build a house? That's not core to the game. You know, of course you can't build, but you can carve something out of a rock. Okay, but he's always saying that's not core to the game. But what he did say is core to the game is getting to the center of the galaxy. But he did say if one person wants to stay on a planet, they can do that, even though it's not core to the game. They have the freedom to do that. And he even said, that's the person's live stream that I am going to watch. The person who decided to never leave. So, yes, freedom. Is it sad? No, not at all. Not one bit. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and take one more quick caller before I get off of here.
All right, cool. I'll jump back into the Twitch.
Okay, buddy. Thank you for coming on. Have a good night, dude.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Dark, the returning champion to the Cobra TV broadcast. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good.
What brings you on tonight? You're the last caller for the evening, so we don't have too much time, dude. But
Okay, this time, I was wondering, can you carve your name into the planet? Because I kind of want to do that.
yeah, you could carve it. Big changes will only save locally. I mean, little changes will just save locally to your game, but it won't be saved for everybody else to see it unless it's like a huge change. And when I mean huge change, it's like if you were to destroy or you try to destroy a space station, you brought down its class, that'll be saved for everybody. But if you carved your name into the planet, more than likely people aren't going to see it if they ever get lucky enough to come to your awesome abode.
Oh, I also have a few more questions. Like, if a giant rhinoceros alien creature chases after you but runs in the opposite direction when you thought you lost him, but you really didn't, but a giant T-Rex comes out of nowhere and tries to kill you, will there like other animals be scared of other animals?
Yeah, they should be. Yeah, man, that is one heck of a description there.
I know.
But yes, they should be, because as Sean Murray said, the animals do eat each other. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a defense mechanism in place. Like, oh crap, run.
I haven't. I was wondering. Can you craft items?
You can craft materials and resources.
Oh.
What do you mean by crafting items?
Like something in Minecraft, how they make pickaxes, but I'm trying to think of a good one. Like something out of Subnautica.
I haven't played Subnautica. You can craft materials and resources and stuff like that. You can combine resources, craft them together. You can craft the blueprints that you find. You know, when you find a blueprint, you're going to have to get those resources, combine what ones you need to combine together to make certain resources for your blueprint. And the blueprints are technology for your ship, such as like a cloaking device, something like that. But it's going to have that little bit. I mean, not like Minecraft. Nothing at all like Minecraft.
Oh.
All righty, bud.
Yeah, I think I have everything done now.
All right, dude. It's been so awesome having you on the show, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Dark.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, buddy. Have a good night, man.
You too.
All right, guys. So that is it for the No Man's Sky subcast. Didn't have a whole lot of mystery questions about, some of the things that we've seen in the trailers and we just don't understand. But that's okay. That's fine. Maybe I'm just thinking too hard.